Hey there, hi there, ho there. Gord, you're hurting hippie, and yeah, you know, welcome to Hippie Cooks. This time, I'm cooking chicken fried rice, but KFC style chicken fried rice. So, this is the day before I cook the chicken fried rice. You gotta start with something. You gotta start with KFC. You gotta start with KFC. So today we've ordered KFC. We've got chicken, we've got fries, we've got gravy, we've got some biscuits, but we ordered enough chicken that tomorrow I'll be back and I'll start breaking it down and show you how I make chicken fried rice. See you tomorrow morning. Peace. We're here in the morning and it's time to start putting together chicken fried rice. Now, of course, you don't have to do it first thing. In fact, some days I make the rice the day before, but you saw the very first step is order KFC and have a good meal. Then the next day or that night, you gotta make some rice because the rice has to be old and cold. Old and cold. So here I am, I've got a cup of rice. I'm going to be rinsing it. I always rinse it under water. You get better tasting, fluffier rice. I'll add a cup and 3/4 of water, a bit of salt, bit of butter, cook it for 20 minutes, and then I'm just going to put it in the fridge and save it for later. So there's no sense you watching me make rice because it all depends on the kind of rice you like. I'm using long grain rice, takes a little longer to cook. A lot of people for chicken fried rice use broken rice, and in fact the Chinese use broken fried rice for Chinese fried rice, but this is hippie fried rice. We're using long grain hippie rice. Use whatever rice you want, but after it's cooled, don't put it in the fridge when it's hot. Leave it on the counter, leave it covered, stir it up so it's fluffy, and stir it up again just before you put it in the fridge and leave it there for the rest of the day. And we'll be back when we start putting together the ingredients. Peace. And now, friends, we start putting together the fried rice. And the most important piece, and I've talked about it too much, is the chicken. Take the chicken out of the fridge, let it sit for a good 15 minutes. It's easier to work with your fingers. Then we're going to split, and I'm going to describe what I'm doing, and then we're going to show it with a little music because it's just more fun that way. So we're going to take each piece of chicken. We are going to separate the usable skin. Some of it's kind of gets wet and soggy, but get the usable skin, lots of flavor in there and lots of fats that'll crisp up. In one pile, the meat torn apart, not cut, in another pile, and the bones, of course, we'll throw back in the tub. Then you'll see me cutting up an onion, cutting up a couple of onions. I want a couple of onions in there, and we're going to make the onions a little more chopped than usual, bring them down to a small cube, and we're going to fry the onions. I won't make them that small, but you'll see. Then we're going to start frying the onions, because y'all know I fry the onions for 30 minutes. If you don't know, that's the best way. Some olive oil, low temperature, medium to medium low, 30 minutes. It's going to brown them nicely, bring out all the natural sugars in those onions, and take away the bitterness that the Allison causes when it gets cut. So while that's cooking, so again, let's see, get the meat, cut the onions, start frying the onions, and then I'm going to break out the garlic. Then I'm going to cut up the skin that I put aside into nice small pieces, and I'm going to cut up a couple of stalks of celery, and I'm going to add that to the onions about 5 minutes before they're done. Then you're hippie. we'll come back to you and tell you how to finish the rest off. So stay tuned, light something up, and enjoy the music and the show. Peace. Garlic, the chicken skin cut up, and the celery to the onions. And we're going to go about 5 or 6 more minutes, and I'm going to move it to a bigger pan and add the meat and the rice. I have the rice taken out of the fridge. I will take it out of there, break it up, put it in there, but I need a bigger skillet. This is the skillet you saw me using was the best one for doing the rice, but I have a big skillet for doing the fried rice when we're all said and done. So I have the meat all ready to go, nice and broken up. I like big pieces, ain't no lie. And the rice. I've got a big pan, but I want this to cook a little more. The smell is absolutely wonderful. I want you to, for those who have never watched me do this before, you saw me, if you didn't back up, but you saw me smash the garlic. And there was 10 minutes between me smashing the garlic and me actually cutting it up, because when you smash it, it starts to bloom, which means releasing allicin. That's the smell, that's the flavor, that's garlic. If you aren't doing that, you're missing something. So make sure you do that. So next thing you're going to see me is adding it all together, and then it's simply, we are going to let it simmer, turn it, simmer, turn it, simmer, turn it. I like to cook that rice for a good half hour with everything in it, and right near the end I add a half a can of summer sweet peas, because they tend to squish and just make green chicken fried rice. I like peas in my rice, but I want to taste the peas separately, not a big mush. So, we'll be right back. All right, now the onions and all of that is nice and crispy and translucent and yummy, yummy. So we're going to take this. I have heated up my other skillet and put about a quarter cup of butter in there. And we put all of that in there. And now, as I said, we're going to add the rice and the meat. And you see why I changed it to a nice big bowl. And now we've got to very carefully stir that around to get it just a little bit mixed. We don't need much right now. And we turn the temperature down to a medium-low, about a 4 or a 5. And just before we put a lid on it, we want it to start to moisturize. Just before we do that, we're going to put this, a little bit of bone broth. It'll help make some moisture and get that stuff going. And now, we just wait. I'm going to continue to stir it. Get a nice heavy spoon, a nice metal spoon or skillet or spatula to try and scrape that off the bottom, because we're going to continually turn it, and we're going to go about 20 minutes, and then we're going to add a little bit of, well, I may not add the peas this time. Let's see. We'll be right back. We are near done. It is smelling absolutely beautiful. For the last 20 minutes, every few minutes, I have flipped it by scraping underneath it. Make sure you get that bottom, because that's where the crispy bits are. Let's show you. That's not, there we go. Let's show you. It's amazing. So I'm going to, let's bring that over, set it down. Ooh, I'm moving fast now. Get the lid off of it. It is ready to go. I am not putting the peas in it because I had enough celery that it's added enough vegetables. Who needs that many vegetables? And I'll be right back with some plates. Here we are. Now we're just going to scoop it onto the plates. Let's give you a good view. And it's up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting a little China Lily soy sauce, because Kikkoman? Really? China Lily. All the way. I'm going to put some on mine. Probably Gordy will put it on his. I'll have a taste when I sit down, and I'll let you know how it went. You, of course, may not want soy sauce on yours, but it just adds that little bit. I don't use much seasoning. All I did was salt the onions at the beginning, and celery has its own salt. Garlic has its own punch. Onions gives it that sweetness, and this will give it the umami. So, friends, Let's go taste. The final part. The part that I get the most nervous about because I don't like eating in front of people. But this looks and smells. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Come on. Anyways, this smells absolutely beautiful. There's Gordy getting ready to have his. Cheers, my friends. Mm. I would say that is maybe up there in the top 5 of my Hippie fried rice that I've ever made. It has a beautiful flavor. You've got a little background KFC. You've got the sharpness of the garlic and the onion. The crunch of the celery is still in it. It is just absolutely wonderful. What do you think, Gord?
I think it's podium finish. Top 3.
Top 3. Okay, right on. Well, friends, there you go. Hippie cooks, Hippie fried rice. Peace. A really big thank you to all of you for the time you take to watch my videos. I hope that you try this because it was very good. I was going to say that this is a good meal for a couple of days. It didn't last a couple hours. It didn't last 20 minutes. We each had seconds. There's none left. So you know it's good when there's nothing left. I wish I could have shared it with Pasha, but it had some crispy rice, and he doesn't like it when I let it go crispy. Picky young man. Anyways, friends, again, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll give it the thumbs up. And I hope you have already subscribed. And thank you for all your support. Peace.